Alright guys, Tetrabit here, back again today, and we are back with another ASMR video, probably not quite as ASMR as yesterday was. It's slightly earlier than yesterday, so this should be okay. It's only 10 PM. I haven't been feeling great this weekend on the whole. It's been up and down. Sometimes I feel fine, sometimes I feel kind of ill. So tonight I thought I'd come back a little bit early because tomorrow's obviously going to be a long day. So I thought I'd come back early before the last couple of games, just watch them from my room, make a video, and then tomorrow hopefully I should be have enough energy to go the entire day, because right now, like, I'll go to the event for like a few hours and I'll just be absolutely shattered. So unfortunate that it's Anaheim, but it is what it is, and I feel okay right now, so hopefully I should bang out this video in decent form at the very least. So let's go through today's matches. An incredible day of action, so much fun, so many crazy moments to watch live, was amazing. And yes, of course, we had that 100 Thieves versus Optic game to finish things off, which really may well set the tone for how this tournament is progressing. And of course I will leave on screen as the video goes on the highlight moments that I will be discussing, or at least the most prominent ones of those. So yes, like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's hop right into it here. So firstly, these are the losers bracket matches to start off the day. I'll hopefully be going through in relatively good order, so we get some kind of chronology at the very least. So firstly, Midnight versus Units was one of the first series of the day, and yeah, Units took it down 3-0. Happy for them to get a victory. Was pretty damn comfortable over Midnight in the end. Then Reciprocity took down Envy. Dylan CoD just putting on an absolute clinic. He was a monster today, has been all weekend. In my opinion, he is the best like front man in the game. I did a tweet about it. My Twitter will be down below if you do want to follow me. But yeah, in my opinion, like in terms of the first guy in, the full-time SMG, he is, in my opinion, the best in the game right now. He does his job incredibly. For those of you who have watched Reciprocity play this weekend will have seen this firsthand. This man is dropping streaks for fun, and the form he's hitting is just remarkable. So they take down Envy 3-0. What's incredible here really is that Envy didn't win a map the entire tournament, ladies and gents. 0-12 map count. I'm not sure when the last time this happened was. I do know that I think Maven apparently said in Black Ops 3 2 years ago in Anaheim, or I guess it'd be 3 years ago now, at Anaheim, like 3 years ago, whatever his team was then, they also didn't win a map. Maybe that was the 100 Thieves team at the time. Could have been. But yeah, so God, disastrous. Envy definitely going to be making roster changes. The roster change period following Sunday, which begins on Monday, through to the Thursday, is going to be very spicy indeed. And especially given, you know, Brack potentially being on the market. We'll talk about that in a second. Also, Evil Geniuses has to be noted. This series was incredible. Looney clutched a 1v5 in the second half, in the second Search and Destroy, sorry. I could not believe what I was seeing. The way that the third guy got smoked was unbelievable. Phantoms just ran away at the end. It's actually a hilarious clip. I'll put it for you guys on screen, of course, right now. And then in the final game, they end up losing a Game 5 Round 11 do EG. Afterwards, Attach came backstage into the Pro Lounge, smashed his rucksack on the floor. He was not a happy bunny because he was frying the entire tournament. And, well, it didn't work out for them, did it? Losing Game 5 Round 11 to Splice to place top 16 is just tragic. I think maybe EG came top 16 last event as well, or top 12 or something like that. So they're not really a terrible team. It just got come unstuck a couple of times, and they just lost to better teams on the day. And God, that is just a tragic way to lose. Then we had LG UIU, and this was incredible. This was going on at the same time that the Optic versus FaZe match was happening on main stage, and LG went Game 5 with UIU. And it was just, the final round is just unbelievable. Classic, threw the game beyond belief. Parzelion turned on him. And then the way UAU played the 1v2, I thought was so strange. It was, of course, Ricky, Big Dick Rick in the 1v2. And he clutches it up, man. What a guy to keep him alive in the tournament. Didn't end up being too much longer. But still, remarkable stuff from Ricky. Really weird play, I thought, from UAU. He had like 13 seconds left. Ricky had to plant the bomb. So surely one of your guys runs away a little bit, and the other guy, if he dies, then he knows that the other guy has to go plant the bomb, and probably wasn't really enough time to plant anyway if one of the other UAU guys had run away. But it was still a strange decision from them. Ricky clutches it up. What a hero. Search and Destroy King, 14-5. And Gunless, eat your heart out, eh? So moving onwards here. This was the winners bracket side of things. Optic took down FaZe in a 3-2. This was a reverse sweep. FaZe went up 2-0. Crushed them on the opening hard point. And the game 2, it was a 5-3 lead for Optic, which FaZe managed to claw back and win. And then in the control, OG really turned it on and started taking over the game. A couple of rounds where FaZe really could have won and had some advantages. Game 4, the Hacienda, FaZe got completely crushed by Optic, one of their very best maps. They did also play it later in the day against 100 Thieves. We'll talk about how that went in just a second here. And then in the Game 5, FaZe's S&D has really been their weakness for the entirety of this team's existence. And there was no way they were going to win 2 in a series, surely, against Optic. Optic completely reverse sweep. That 1v1 Scump versus Celium was the big deal. Maybe Celium misplayed it. I think, honestly, he made a perfectly reasonable play. It's just he decided to slide away and got kind of unlucky timing. Scump takes him out. They win the series. 100 Thieves take down Elevate 3-1. Honestly, closer than I thought it would be. But I thought it was going to be a 3-0. But 100 Thieves, Elevate, honestly, a very good team right now. Definitely got to put some respect on their name. They have been remarkably good for my estimation. And E6 take down Heretics in a 3-2 fashion. It was actually a 2-0 lead for E6. GodRx completely franked today. He was like the best performer on the day. Had like almost a 1.5 AKD over the course of it. Remarkable stuff. E6 looking great. Finally, GodRx coming to life, because I talked about him for a long time when this team was formed, that GodRx is a fantastic player. Like, this guy is going to maybe even rejuvenate this team and make it real contenders, and he was performing spectacularly today. We'll see how that went later on in the winners semis. And then E United get taken down by Gen G in a 3-1 fashion. EU take map number 1. Gen G come back with a 3 map straight, which is exactly what they used to do early on in the season, let's not forget. So, impressive stuff from them. Then, moving onwards here, these are the other losers bracket matches. So, moving onwards, E United swiftly take down Unit. So, they go out in a top 12 placing, which is really awful for them, because those guys are not contracted to an org right now under Denala, especially because of the guys that, rated Joe and Vance that have come from Red Reserve. They basically haven't been paid the entire year, and finishing top 12 means they get no prize money. Really just a horrible situation for them. But, E&I were the better team on the day, so it is what it is, and we've got to keep an eye on that Brack player and that Brack move, because, LG go out in the next round, Envy went out in this round. Those are 2 teams that he may have been linked with, so we'll have to see how it goes. Now, Heretics take down Rec in a 3-2 fashion. This was on main stage. This was so tragic. Dylan was completely frying. They won map 1, Reciprocity did, like 250 to 150. Then it was a 6-0 search and destroy, and then a couple of rounds that Reciprocity threw away in the control, which they really shouldn't have done, let Heretics back in the game, and then they bring the reverse sweep. Impressive stuff from Heretics. Gotta respect it. They've been playing very, very well. Very good team, and I really like it when they have methods on the Sorg and they don't worry about switching up the roles. It definitely works much better for Heretics when they do that. And yes, they do the reverse sweep on Reciprocity. Lucky clutched a ridiculous, like, in the last couple of rounds. Like, Reciprocity really did throw it away, but they played decent over the course of the weekend. I think their performance was much better than their placing indicators. I do feel very bad for them, but we'll have to see how it goes with playoffs. I think playoffs and champs, one of those 2 events, they will have a really good run and finish top 4 on the current way they're playing right now. So Splice beat Elevate 3-2, close series, went all the way down to the wire, but Splice took it down, and then FaZe took down LG 3-1. The only map they lost here was the Search and Destroy, but, this really wasn't close. Both are hard points, actually. FaZe won a combination of 500 to 109. Smoked on both hardpoints. It was ridiculous. Maybe the best hardpoint team in the game right now, or at least up there, probably top 3 with Optic and 100 Thieves would be my judgment. So moving onwards then, we had E United versus Heretics on the side station. E United took it down, and it's very interesting to see what will happen with E United. Of course, they did lose to Gen G, which does put them in pretty much an impossible position to win the tournament. And I would like to discuss some early rumours here, because it's been talked about that, E United and Clayster have always had this kind of, when JCap was removed off the team earlier in the season, he was saying that the other guys on the team weren't too willing to play with Clayster, and that kind of tension within the team was starting to mount. And okay, they beat Heretics here, very well played, but they're not going to win the tournament, at least as far as I can see. That was a storyline coming in here that we thought maybe United would win the tournament, but it was definitely on the cards. But as soon as they lost to Gen G, pretty much that's out the window. I'd be very surprised if United managed to go on and win it. They will be playing an as yet unnamed team in the next round. I was going to say, but I'll leave that for you guys who haven't maybe seen the matches. I'll discuss what happened in the Optic 100 Thieves match in just a second here. But yeah, something to keep in mind that United may well be considering a change here, especially because, in my opinion, it's unlikely they get a franchise spot. So maybe they're thinking, well, this is going to be the last hurrah for United in Call of Duty. Playoffs and champs, or CWL finals in Miami and then champs back in Los Angeles. So yeah, maybe they're thinking we've got to make a roster change here. I'd keep that in mind because, of course, it depends how well they place, probably. But yeah, right now they're not in the best placing and they've got a difficult matchup in the next round facing the loser of 100 Thieves and Optic Gaming. We will get to that in a second. FaZe beat Spice 3-0. This was crushing. FaZe finally hitting some nice form. Their loss against Optic was pretty damn tragic. If they'd have won that, they had a really great chance. But yeah, they ended up losing it. Then they've beaten LG 3-1, convincing. They 3-0 Spice. If FaZe win their Search and Destroys, it's usually chalked for the other team. Of course, against Optic it wasn't. They lost both the control and the map 4 hardpoint, but they did dominate the map number 1. So still a very competitive team. I think they will probably continue to improve. And if they can improve their Search and Destroy like 100 Thieves have, then of course a very scary team. So finally here we have these two results. These are the final results of the day. Firstly, E6 versus Gen G. This was a very close fought affair. I didn't catch all of this, but I know that E6 were up 2-1 in the series. It looked like they were going to close it out in the map 4 hardpoint, but Gen G clutched up so hard. Havoc and Envoy just went off. The tallest SMG duo in the game completely turned up, took it to a game 5, and Gen G on Gridlock S&D, name a better duo this entire year. They have been filthy, and yeah, they win the series, no problem at all to close it out. Feel a bit bad for GodRx because he was absolutely frying today, and the rest of the guys have played great, but Gen G, they beat E United 3-1, they beat E6 3-2, who have been a very scary team this weekend. Impressive performance from them, coming top 6 at the very least. We'll have to see how they can do down in the losers bracket, and then the final match of the day, Optic 100 Thieves. Optic map number 1, they go up big in both hardpoints. In fact, they have a pretty damn good lead. Of course, this is a rematch of the huge match that was in the winners finals, of course, at CWL London, that really turned the tides of the storm in CWL London. I don't even know what I'm on about. That'll do. Nice little proverb. Not even a proverb. Whatever. Optic take map number 1. Going into map 2, this is where Optic Search and Destroy has tended to be better than 100 Thieves throughout this entire year, but 100 Thieves really put on a clinic here in the Search and Destroy on Gridlock. Very impressed by what they were doing. Dashi clutched a 1v2 that really shouldn't have happened, but the rest of the game was very, very comfortable indeed on the whole. Then game 3 control. 100 Thieves should have closed this out earlier, really. They went up 2-0. Kenny playing out of his mind. Gotta put some respect on this kid's name. He was playing phenomenal, him and Slasher especially. Octane had a very good map number 1, but, what a play. Actually, just to say, Dashi map number 1 dropped 49 kills, 8,700 damage I think he had. He had put an absolute clinic map number 1. It was incredible, but couldn't really replicate that form the rest of the series. 100 Thieves really play a fantastic game under pressure. And yes, in the game 3 control, they, in both rounds 3 and 4 of the control, they used specialists, and streaks, which arguably they didn't need to try and close it out. So they lose both rounds, but they don't lose any composure or anything. They go into round 5 and then they win that kind of comfortably on defense. Then game number 4 on Hacienda, Optic have a relatively big lead, off the rear, maybe a 50-60 point lead, something like that. But 100 Thieves bring it back. It really came down to Lambo twice in a row. Huge breaks from 100 Thieves, which they pinched it so well, and Optic kind of were caught lacking in a way. They were kind of disjointed at the back in how they were trying to hold down that, where all the Lambos are at the back entrance into the actual Lambo building. And yeah, at the end of the day, 100 Thieves closing out in the 3-1 fashion. This series was very, very close, very entertaining, maybe slightly more comfortable than I was expecting in a way. It kind of felt to me that 100 Thieves were always the better team, even though a lot of the times it was very, very close. I just feel like under pressure right now, 100 Thieves are the best team in the game, and well, they take the series against Optic Gaming, and this is so huge. You know, they go now into that winners finals. We'll have a look at the bracket in just a second here. So here we go. They go into this winners final against Genji. They already beat Genji earlier on in the tournament in their group stage in that 3-1. The winner of this goes on to the grand finals. Both these teams are guaranteed top 3, so impressive from Genji to make it work. This is the losers bracket. Optic will be playing E United tomorrow in the losers quarters. E6 will be playing FaZe Clan, and then look at the following. So these are the final. This is the schedule for tomorrow. So Mesa versus Mindfreak in the open grand finals. Mesa coming from winners. That's BZ's team up against Mindfreak. They're looking to do the back-to-back because they came from losers at London to win the tournament as well against Kairos. Maybe they can do it again here. And then we have a losers semi, 100 Thieves versus Genji, losers final, and the grand final ending a little bit earlier than typical. So 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, which means for you guys in the UK, the grand final starts at only 1:30 a.m. So isn't that very nice? And yes, so this is the Bravo stream. We'll have FaZe E6 and Optic E United on Bravo. So these are the times to look out for. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you are new. And yeah, hope you enjoyed Championship Sunday. It's going to be a big one. Thank you so much for watching as always. And I will see you next time. Leave your thoughts down below. And I'll have to redo my outro because otherwise I won't end on the normal thing. So thank you so much for watching as always. And I'll see you next time.